The doorbell rang at 10:37 a.m. Too early for visitors, too late for deliveries. When I opened the door, my wife's mother stood there. Perfect posture, a sharp smile, and beside her, a man in a dark suit holding a leather folder embossed with gold lettering. "Good morning," she said, voice smooth as glass. "We just need a few signatures, formalities." Behind her, my wife stood still, not smiling, not blinking. There was something rehearsed about the way she avoided my eyes. The man with the folder introduced himself as a notary. My wife's mother handed me a pen as if she already knew I'd sign whatever she placed in front of me. My grandmother's portrait watched from the hallway, the faint scent of her old rose perfume still lingering, though she'd been dead 2 years. My pulse slowed. My instincts didn't scream. They whispered, "Something's wrong." The notary opened the folder. Contracts. Property-related. My wife's mother said something about joint ownership, marital consolidation, security for the future. I looked at my wife again. Her hands were trembling. That's when I knew. She didn't expect me to read a single line. And she didn't expect I'd already hidden what mattered most. We married quickly. Too quickly. She said she loved my simplicity, my quiet nature, my humble career. I thought it was charm. Now I know it was reconnaissance. When I inherited my grandmother's estates, a coastal villa, a countryside manor, and a townhouse in the city, I told no one, not even my best friend. My grandmother's last words had been simple: "Don't trust those who smile too easily at your fortune." So I didn't. And now, watching my wife's mother smile like a viper in pearls, I realized how right she'd been. The papers were thick, the notary professional, the timing perfect. 1 week into marriage, when love is still blind, when signatures come easier than questions. But I didn't touch the pen. Instead, I asked softly, "Where's this coming from?" Her mother's smile faltered. My wife glanced down, throat tightening. "A precaution," she said quickly. "Mother she thinks it's practical." Practical? To transfer everything into joint ownership? To anchor me before the paint of our marriage certificate had even dried? My silence stretched long enough for the air to grow heavy. Then I smiled. "You're right," I said, taking the pen. "Let me just make some tea first." I walked away, pen in hand, heart steady. When I returned, they were whispering, low, urgent, like conspirators in a failing heist. I didn't sign that day. I told them I wanted my lawyer to review it. My wife's mother's face cracked, just slightly, before she composed herself again. That night, my wife cried. She said her mother meant well. She said it was about trust, security. I said nothing. In the darkness, I could feel the tension vibrating off her skin. She was waiting for me to cave. But I'd already begun watching. I checked her phone. Not to invade, but to confirm. Hidden folders, deleted messages, screenshots of property deeds, conversations with her mother. One line stood out. "He's soft. Just push him gently." Soft. For 3 days, I played the part. The doting husband, the apologetic man who wanted to make peace. Meanwhile, I called my lawyer. I restructured ownership. Each estate was placed under an anonymous trust with me as the sole beneficiary. No public trace, no legal path to tie it to our marriage. Every move I made was invisible. When I kissed her goodnight, she thought she was winning. When I held her hand in public, she thought I'd given in. And when her mother called to ask, "Has he signed yet?" she smiled, unaware that every word was being recorded. The following Sunday, I invited them both for lunch. The table was neatly set, 3 plates, 3 glasses, sunlight spilling across polished wood. I served tea. Then I placed a folder on the table. They both froze when they saw it. Her mother's eyes narrowed. "You've had it looked over?" I nodded. "Yes, by my lawyer." The notary's contracts sat inside, untouched, but on top of them lay the documents from my own lawyer. Seems my inheritance is secure, I said quietly. Her face drained. Inheritance? My wife looked at me, confused. What inheritance? I let the silence stretch. It was a beautiful, cold silence. The estates, I said finally. My grandmother's properties. 3 of them. Her breath hitched. Her mother blinked rapidly, caught off balance for the first time. You inherited 3 estates? I nodded. And thank God I didn't mention it. Imagine if I'd signed those papers. Her mother's hand trembled as she reached for her cup. My wife whispered, "You didn't trust me?" I looked her in the eyes, calm, unflinching. Should I have? She didn't answer. The next morning I found her packing. Tears, excuses, apologies. I didn't interrupt. I simply placed my phone on the dresser, recordings from the past week playing in her mother's voice. Just push him gently. He's soft. Once he signs, we'll arrange the transfer. Her face went white. I didn't mean... I stopped her with a glance. You meant every word. I slid a single document across the bed, a prenuptial agreement I'd quietly filed before the wedding, making her entitled to nothing. Her eyes flickered between the paper and me. You planned this? I smiled faintly. No, I just listened. She sank onto the bed, defeated. Her mother called later, voice sharp with rage. I let it ring once, then twice, then blocked the number. No shouting, no revenge speech. Just silence, the kind that eats at people more than any scream ever could. It's been weeks. The house is quiet again. Her perfume still lingers in the closet, faint and artificial. I leave it there as a reminder of what almost happened. Sometimes I replay that morning in my head, the notary, the pen, the poised deception wrapped in a smile. They thought they could own me. They forgot I come from a woman who built empires quietly, without showing her hand. I make tea in the same cup my grandmother used. The steam curls upward, slow and calm. Freedom has no sound, no celebration. It's just silence. And I've grown to love it. Final line. The day they came for my fortune was the day I discovered I was richer than they'd ever be. In control.